All right, here we go. So exploiting NFS. It says we're done, right? Because we enumerated everything. Not quite. If you have low privilege shell on any machine, you found that a machine has an NFS share, you might be able to use that and to escalate privileges depending on how it's configured. So what is root squash? By default on NFS shares, root squashing is enabled and prevents anyone connecting to the share from having root access to the NFS volume. Remote root users are assigned a user NFS nobody when connected, which has the least local privileges. So we were just a remote user, right? So when we went here, we logged in remotely into the user, right? We SSH'd into the user. So it says remote users have NFS nobody, which has the least local privileges, not what we want. However, if this is turned off, it can allow the creation of SUID bit files, allowing a remote user root access to the connected system. SUID, essentially this means that the file or files can be run with the permissions of the files or the owner group, in this case as the super user. So S stands for super user ID. We can leverage this to get a shell with these privileges. It sounds complicated, but really, provided you're familiar with how SUID files work, it's fairly easy to understand. We're able to upload files to NFS shares, so on and so forth. So let me just give you an example real quick. These things right here, if you see this right here, oh, you know what? I don't know if I did chmod. I don't think I did chmod. So we may have to actually break out of this and do chmod real quick just to kind of give us access. So actually, let's do that, right? So in the previous task, actually, I think I'm supposed to do exit. There you go, exit. So this file, that ID RSA file, we got it in the previous task, and we're supposed to modify the user. So let's see if we can see the difference, right? So if I do lsla, it'll give us the user permissions, right? So we only have a read and write permission on the ID RSA. So let's see if we change it to 600. Let's see if that does anything, because that's what they told us to do. chmod 600. Now lsla. Nope, still nothing. so it's not like we got any super user permissions anyways. So whatever. So we're just gonna go back and execute our SSH to log back into the remote user. Boom, there we go. We are back into the remote user. And so, all right. So it sounds complicated. We're able to upload. So if we are able to upload files to the NFS share and control the permissions of these files. We can set the permissions of whatever we upload, in this case, a bash shell executable. We can then log into SSH, as we did in our previous task, and execute this executable to gain a root shell. Nice. So due to compatibility reasons, we'll use a standard Ubuntu server 1804 bash executable, the same as the servers, as we know from our nmap scan. You can download it here. If you want to download it via the command line, be careful not to download the GitHub page instead of the raw script. You can use this thing. So just to make sure I don't make any mistakes, I'm going to copy this, and I'm going to come into a new terminal, paste it, and press enter. And we have it downloaded. Where is it? Is it here? What did I get? I think it's called bash, right? I think that's what it is right here. So let's see, nano bash. Maybe this is it. So let's get out of this. Let's do lsla to see if we can look at the dates of the stuff that we just downloaded. And where is it? Anything with 2024 on here? January 4, 2024. So that is the actual file that we just downloaded. Excellent. So we can, and maybe we could even see the name of the file inside our thing, right? Yeah, boom, right here. Duh, bash. So that's what we downloaded. Okay, great. So the name of the file that we downloaded is the bash, and that is our executable. That's going to be our executable. So if this is still hard to follow, here's a step-by-step of the actions we're taking and how they all tie together to allow us to gain a root shell. So let's go to that. So NFS access, which we just got, gain low-level privilege, which we just got, upload the bash executable to the NFS share. We're about to do that right now. Then set SUID permissions through NFS. Due to misconfigured root squash. I think we're about to do that too. Log in through SSH. Again, with the new executable, right? Execute the SUID bitbash executable, and now we have root access. So let's do this. First, change directory to the mount point on your machine where the NFS share should still be mounted, and then into the user's home directory. Okay, I already clicked done, so let's just do that real quick. And for the hell of it, I'm just gonna move the bash file into the temp mount folder. So it shouldn't be here anymore. And if I just do temp mount and click that, okay, there we go. Now we have our bash file in here also. Okay, great. So now let's go into the cappuccino, which is this thing. Oops. LSL total LSA. There you go. Okay, interesting. So if I just do LSLA, it gives us further details. Okay, great. All right, so we are now in the thing. All right, great. So download it. Download the where is it? Downloads the bash executable to the downloads directory. Then use cp downloads bash to copy the bash executable to the NFS share, which is what we did. Or maybe the copied bash shell must be owned by a root user. You can do this by using sudo chown root bash. Okay, so at first let's just do that. So let's go back to the previous directory, and it says sudo, what is it? Sudo chown root bash. Okay, so sudo chown root bash. So now we have that, and now we're gonna move the bash, or I'll just copy it just in case. Copy bash to cappuccino, and let's go to cappuccino and ls. Boom, it's here. Great. So we have it inside our mount share. So great, we just did that as well. Nice. Oh, nice. My streak just went up to 75 days. Let's do this. So now we're going to add the SUID bit permission to the bash executable we just copied to the share using sudo chmod plus permission, which is the special permission that we want to add, bash. What letter do we use to set the SUID bit to the command? I'm guessing S for special. Great. So let's do a sanity check. Let's check permissions of the bash executable using LA bash. What does the permission set look like? Make sure that it ends with SRX, right? So here we go. So voila, we're going to do, what was it? Sudo chmod plus S to bash, right? That's what it was, like that. And so we see right here, right, in the previous one that we ran, we see that it only has read, write, read, I guess. I don't know what all the different R's are, but so it should have the R and, it should have S and X attached to it now for special executable, right, or super executable. So let's do LA bash, and look at that. It has the S in this mofo right here. So what is it? So it told us to do, we just copy use permission bash. What letter do we to get SUID? But it should have SRX at the end, and mine does not have X at the end. So I'm going to do sudo chmod plus X bash, and now let me do LA bash, and I do have X at the end now. Okay, great. So X is for executable, and we need to do that as well. So S and X, they kind of didn't tell us that in this little piece right here. And so you need to make sure that you do that as well. Otherwise, you probably are going to have a problem with the rest of it right here. So it says, what does the permission set look like? So now I just need to copy this little bit and come here and paste it. That should be the right answer. Great. And so if this X wasn't here, I'm willing to bet that this would have been a wrong answer, and we would have been kind of running around in circles until we figured that out. So here we go. Now SSH into the machine as the user. List the directory to make sure the bash executable is there. Now the moment of truth, let's run it with this command. The p persists the permissions so that it can run as root with SUID, and as otherwise bash will sometimes drop the permissions. Okay, all right. So it says SSH into the machine as the user, list the directory. So let's go back to this thing and exit, and let's do the SSH one more time as the user. LSLA, do we have bash in here? We sure do have bash in here. So we're gonna run our bash command. Do I need to do sudo? No, we're just gonna do bash, and then we're gonna do p persist. Look at that! We're in. Are we in? Are we in? It looks like we're in. We are in. I am root, buddy. Let's freaking go. What's up? Okay, so great. So this is done too. Great. If it all goes well, you should have a shell as a root. What's the root flag? Well, I don't know. Where is the freaking flag? Can we do locate flag? Wait, flags.ph. Is it? What is it? Is there a flag in there? Am I missing something? So let's do cd sudo as admin successful. It is not a directory. Let me see. cd bash. It is not a directory. Let's try to find this flag. Okay, so what if we did locate flag.txt? Doesn't exist. Find flag.txt does not exist. So cd profile, it's not a directory. Let me see if it gives us any kind of a hint here. So it says, if it all goes well, you should have a shell as root, which I do. So what is the root flag? I mean, bruh. So these are not flags, I don't think. I don't think so. Let's just see. Maybe it is. So we'll just copy this one and see what that is. So nano, paste. Is that a flag? There is no flag in here. So that's not the flag. Exit. I mean, I don't think that there's a flag in any of these. So bash history, bash logout. What if I do, okay, so what if we do sudo or cd desktop? Does that exist? No file or directory. Your boy is stumped. Okay, so I'm gonna click around a little bit and see where the thing is, and as soon as I find it, I will tell you where it was, and we will look at the rest of it together. Okay, the answer was a lot simpler. The answer was a lot simpler than I thought it was going to be. So there is no desktop. Usually the flags are on the desktop, and it was saying where is the root flag, right? And so I just cd'd to /root, and we did a list command, and there's a file called root.txt. And so if we do this, let's see. Look at that. We got a flag in there. So boom. That's our flag. And so we will take our flag and paste it here. And voila. We have finished everything for exploiting NFS. And now the next one is SMTP is going to be the next one. So we're going to end this session because I have to also terminate this machine, because as it says in the enumeration one, we have to start its own machine with the SMTP server, and we're going to run it back, but we're gonna do it for the SMTP, Simple Mail Transfer Protocol. All right, hope you enjoyed it. Make sure you subscribe, like, do all that stuff, and I will see you in the next room. or in the next task of this room, whatever. Peace. Talk to you guys soon.